Things seem to have fallen apart between the Nigerian executive and legislative arms of government, as it looks though it is now a cold war. And we look in details into the foreign trips of President Muhammadu Buhari. What are the gains from his several travels? That's a focus on the program. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Shehu Okimbale, and this is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. Some very interesting issues for us to talk about on the program, but let's take a look at first some of your top political stories we're tracking at this time.
Political roundup on Channels Television. Here are your top political stories this time.
The National Youth Council of Nigeria wants President Muhammadu Buhari to reduce his frequent foreign trips abroad. The group, after its meeting in Abuja, the nation's capital, told journalists that the president should begin to delegate more and start to personally administer major issues by himself on the home front. From the seat of power to the streets of Osun State in Nigeria's southwest region, a human rights group, Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, CDHR, is asking the federal government to ensure that any public office holder indicted on corrupt acts is prosecuted. The group marched and protested in Osogbo, the capital of the state. They also want President Muhammadu Buhari to channel all recovered funds to fix the power sector and provide basic infrastructure for the people.
If only a percentage of the looted that is being recovered is channeled to electricity, Nigerians will be happy.
Oath taken and good to go. 14 commissioners and 20 special advisors have been sworn into the cabinet of the governor of Bayelsa State, Seriake Dixon. The governor asked the appointees to see they are entering into the immediate workforce of the restoration agenda of the state as a rare privilege, and advised them to be creative and think outside the box in generating ideas that will aid in developing the state in spite of the cash crunch.
So we expect you all, some of you demonstrated in the recent past, to redouble your efforts even more this time.
And you're up to date. Those are your top political stories you need to know.
Thank you for staying with us. We'll now move into our major stories of the day to what may have now turned into a cold war. The relationship between the executive and the legislative arms of government have recently gone sour. On several occasions in the past weeks, we have seen the different arms of criticizing one another over some very important national issues. Some have attributed political reasons to some of the unhealthy exchanges we've seen in the past days. But what exactly is happening? Is this what we could be seeing in another 3 years of this administration? The 2016 budget debacle is the latest in the series of what may have turned into a cold war. Honorable Abdulrazak Namdaz is a spokesperson of the House of Representatives. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Many thanks, Honorable Namdaz, for joining us on the program. In the past days, we've seen a lot of issues happen. The recent one is that of the budget, 2016 budget. And it looks now that there seems to be some level of distrust between the executive and legislature. How has things gone this bad?
Well, I want to say that for us, we have not identifiably said that we have a problem with the executive. What we are saying is that so far, since we came on board and for close to about 8 to 9 months, there is nothing, and I repeat, nothing, that the executive needed from us in the National Assembly that we have not given them. And the only thing we want to be corrected is that there are certain individuals, also media reports, that always goes to suggest that there is a serious problem between us and and the executive, especially on this budget, I have not heard for one from Mr. President himself stating very clearly that this is the problem he has with this budget. And because we are also in this country and we are Nigerians, we know what people say, and that is why in the House of Representatives, we decided to go into a closed-door meeting during the executive session, and we mandated our leader, the Speaker, to please, let's go away from this realm of being rumors. Let's meet with the executive. What is it exactly that they have issues with? If there are areas of concerns, let's identify these areas of concerns, and then let's be practical about it and assist the Nigerians to work, and then we accommodate those things. And I think we did that clearly, because we've been always doing what they actually needed. And I think we are doing our constitutional duty. And I think Nigerians should also appreciate that we have been doing our part.
We know that in politics, it is not all that is said that really is reality. A lot of things they unsaid too sometimes form better part of what exactly is happening. The things that happen within the closed doors are some of the issues that really affect the polity. And one will be wondering the issues of padding, the issues of missing budget, the issues of trying to slot a few things into the budget, the issues of projects not being there. Some people are of the opinion that some of these things will naturally be sorted out if the relationship between the two arms of government have not been strained.
Well, I think, let me say this clearly. I think we have a procedure, and if there's any arm of government that respects procedure, I think it is the National Assembly or the legislature that is very keen about procedure. You see, as far as budget estimates are concerned, we in the National Assembly, we do not write budget. It's the executives that they have their initiative, their policies. They will initiate the budget, lay the budget before the National Assembly, and when it comes, we call it mere estimates and proposals. But when the budget comes to the National Assembly, it becomes our property. Then we try to invoke our own constitutional powers to ensure that we appropriate funds appropriately and also in line with the vision of Mr. President. But I think the issue at stake is that when we wanted to pass this budget on the 25th of February 2016, and we couldn't do so because even from the executive side, they openly admitted that, look, some people even in the executive tampered with this budget. That means there were people who padded the budget. And apart from that, even the ministers who came before us to defend the budget disagreed with what was before us. So because of that, it is not possible for us to have passed that budget at that level. So we felt that there was need for us to also work with the executive. We met our leaders, and our leaders, when I met with the executive and identified gray areas, that was how we were able to move on. But I think my only area of concern is that sometimes some people will come in and say, this is what happened, this is what the National Assembly tried to create more crisis between the two. But I think we've been doing the right thing.